Good morning guys, so today what we're going to go through is a little bit of green reading. So you can see here I've had a lot of people ask me what I am doing by straddling the line. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat about aim point, but we're also going to have a little chat about obviously what I see common with amateurs when green reading and why they start to struggle. It's something that they don't blame very often, and what I see is people say, oh, my pace is out, or I'm pushing the ball, I'm not starting it online, and it all comes down to what read they've picked. So let's get into it. So you can see there what I've done is I've used aim point. So what I'm doing is I'm feeling for the slope, starting to feel if there's more weight on one foot, if there's more weight on the other foot, and then deciding which way that slope's going. From there what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an amount that I think it is, and then relate that to the process that we go through on aim point. Obviously other people might come down here, obviously stand behind, have a look, start to see where that slope goes, and then they might go to the other side. So the biggest fault I see with amateurs is when they're looking at the green reading, they often pick the apex of the putt. And as you saw when we've gone through the last video, which was holing more putts, it's a big problem. People are starting to aim at the apex, which is always lower than where their aim point or where the start needs to be. So we need to think about where you're starting that ball to help that ball go in the hole. So like I say, we've got a putt here that's around about 9 to 10 feet. So what I see a lot of times, I've got this right to left, but what I see a lot of times is people are picking a point midway where they see the apex, and then they're always missing low. As a result, what I see a lot of times, and I have over the last couple of weeks in lessons, is then people try and hit it harder. So they might hole one, but then the next one goes 4 feet past, and then they've got a downhill slider coming back. So obviously then what they say to me is, oh, my pace is really off. Well, the pace isn't off, it's more so to do with the read. Because they've gone too low, to get that ball to stay on line, you're going to have to hit it a lot harder so it doesn't break as much. So as a result, the pace goes, especially when we get to longer putts, 20 feet, 30 feet, they're hitting them very hard to keep them on line, and the blasting it 6, 7 feet past quickly becomes a 3-putt. So if you're somebody who picks the apex, like we discussed last time, if the apex is here, for example, what I want you to do is pretty much double that at the hole and pick a point at the hole. So we've got a straight line here from my ball to the hole, which will be around about here. So the next thing I say is, obviously I get a lot of people to use a line, and I want you to use a line because we can get good feedback. But they say, oh, I struggle when it's over a certain distance to line that ball up because I can't get it straight with that point. So if we draw an imaginary straight line straight back from here to my ball, we can then pick a point that's round about a foot in front. So it might be an old pitch mark, it might just be a different coloured piece of grass, but then I can line that ball to that point. So I can be very happy that that's now pointing at the line just in front. So from there I can then check if that ball starts on line. So again, what this is doing, it's reaffirming if you do miss, why you've missed, and breaking that down. So I know now if I don't roll it over this mark just in front, which I can clearly see, I've not started the ball on line. So I'd need to then go and practice some starting the ball on line, doing my drills for there, maybe get down a gate and see which one I'm hitting consistently, and do go through my checkups of what I need to do to get my setup correct to get that on line. So from here, I can now have that practice swing. So I'm now a lot more confident that my ball's lined up correctly, because comment below, are you somebody who gets over the ball with a line and you're not confident of where that's pointing? You think, oh God, that's pointing way left, or it's pointing way right. So if you're one of those people, a lot of the times that's because you've tried to line it to a point that might be 10 feet away, it might be 20 feet away. If we can line it to something that's a foot in front of you, or even 6 inches, you're a lot more confident, you know that's on line. Over the ball there, you have a lot more trust now in that line. So good, so there I've missed. I've started it straight over the mark that I wanted to. It stayed right, it didn't break as much as I thought. So my feedback is the pace is a foot past, so that's a tick. The ball rolled end over end, which is another tick. I know it started on line, So clearly there I can break it down to green reading. So another technique that I see people use a lot, and a lot of people have used it in lessons, is the one where we call it the plumb bob. So again, using the shaft, seeing where that slopes, and then from there we can get a judge of where we think that ball's going. And I'm not somebody against that. If it works for you, it works for you, keep doing it. But if you see some things that don't necessarily always go right, and sometimes you misread them, be aware that depending where you are, that could be a different slope. So for example, I could be stood here, and I could be on a putt that's sloping this way, but where the ball's actually going to break, my weight's here on my left leg, so I know it's going right to left. But when I'm stood here, it feels left to right. So be aware if you're on a long putt, for example, like I had a lesson last week, we had a long putt, I tricked him because I got us on a double breaker, and where he was stood was a totally different read to where the ball was going to break towards the hole. So obviously you need to make sure that you're doing it in the right area, making sure you've got that correct read. But same thing there, if you've got a point and you pick a reference, let's get it lined up. Pick a point just in front of the ball, because from there we can be more consistent with lining up, and then we should be able to hold more putts. So aim point's a process of where we're going to feel the slope, give it a rating, and then relate it to our process of fingers. And again, it's all personal, you have to be calibrated. So there are aim point instructors, again, across the world. If you go to the Aim Point website, you'll see that you can locate somebody in your area. So if you're in the UK, there might be someone down south, there might be someone in Scotland. If you're in the US, there's plenty of instructors. But if you go to a session, you only need to go once. As soon as you've learned the system, it's a very easy and quick process for you to go through and help you improve your green reading, but also improve your feedback, which feedback's the main thing for you to go away and then improve. Guys, a quick video there. I do apologise that we only had 2 videos out last week, so I'm going to try and get a few more in this week. We're going to do another Tech Tuesday for tomorrow. So guys, comment below, again, do you pick a point just in front when you read the green, or do you pick it at the hole? If you're somebody who goes to the apex, really start to double that for your start line, because then you're going to be able to get that ball falling to the hole. So for example, if I overread the putt, my ball is still moving back to the hole, and he's going to leave me a short putt, a tap in, get out of there, get to the next hole. If I underread that putt, you see that the ball is already moving away from the hole. So even if it gives you 2 feet instead of 1 feet, there's still more chance of you missing that. Especially if you're on a downhill putt and you underread it, it could run away 4 or 5 feet, and then you've got one of those putts that nobody likes, and it could increase your score, bring in a 3 putt. So comment below, are you somebody who goes to your apex and you've had struggles with underreading putts? Again, anyone else who wants to know about, picking a point in front of the ball and using the line for that. Guys, thanks for watching. I will see you again tomorrow.